I need a husband and you need a strong daughter. The tall widow spoke to the struggling cowboy standing in his broken barn like thunder in boots. Jake Sullivan dropped his shovel. Hay scattered everywhere. His breath stopped. No one had talked to him like this in years. Sarah McCann didn't wait for his answer. She stepped closer, towering over him. Her coat moved in the wind like a flag. Mud covered her boots. Her hair was wild. Her face looked like carved stone. You're broke, beaten, and lonely, she said, looking right at him. And I have land, wood, and the quiet most men dream about. She pulled out a folded paper. Marriage deal. No flowers, no ring, no sweet talk, she said. Just work, food, a home, and maybe one day a girl child strong enough to survive us both. Jake looked like a man who just got handed a miracle or a curse. Sarah threw the paper on a hay pile. Sun goes down in 4 hours. That's how long you have. 2 months ago, Jake Sullivan was riding cattle with hope and dreams. But hope died slow. His horse was dead. His brother was gone. His ranch was stolen by a banker with dirty hands and a fake smile. Sarah McCann knew all of it. She still picked him. Not for love. Not for looks. Because he was the last honest man in Cedar Creek. At sunset, he walked to her ranch with his name on that paper. She waited on the porch with her arms crossed. Wood was stacked behind her like a wall. I signed it, Jake said, holding out the paper. Sarah didn't take it. She looked him over from his boots to his bent shoulders. You still want to die? She asked straight out. Because I won't marry a man who's halfway gone, she added. I need someone who will stay. Jake swallowed hard. I'm not leaving, he said. Sarah nodded once. That was enough. They married 2 days later. Sarah wore black with boots like she was going to war. Jake wore what he had and combed his hair with his fingers. When the preacher said, "Do you take this man?" Sarah cut him off. I do. Let's get to it. The first night, Jake slept on the floor. Sarah dropped a blanket next to him and said nothing. She didn't want sweetness. She wanted work. They built a life like building a fence. One post, one nail, one blister at a time. He fixed gates. She cut wood. They didn't touch, not once. But at night, they listened to each other breathe through the wall. And somehow that was enough. One morning she brought him coffee and stew. Why do you want a daughter? He asked. Because the world is mean to girls like I was, she said. Tall, loud, smart, single. It breaks them or teaches them to hide. You want to teach her not to hide. I want to teach her to fight back. In that quiet, something changed. Not love, not yet. But a start. That night, headlights came through the trees. A truck. Loud. Wrong. Sarah stepped out with a rifle on her shoulder and calm that made your blood cold. Marcus Holt. The cousin of her dead husband. Rich, mean, small. You think signing some paper makes this your land, Sarah? He looked at Jake. Or are you just playing house again? Sarah didn't blink. You got 10 seconds to drive off. Jake walked forward with his shovel. He stood between Marcus and the porch. No yelling, no threats. Just the quiet of a man who decided losing wasn't a choice anymore. You think you scare me? Marcus said. No, Jake said. I think I'm the reason you're still breathing. Something in Marcus's smile died. He got back in his truck and left. That night, Sarah opened the door to her room. For the first time since they met, Jake didn't sleep on the floor. They worked hard. They barely talked. But when they did, it mattered. Why don't you drink? She asked once. Because when my brother drank, I bled, he said. That's how they loved each other. Not with flowers, but with truth. 2 weeks later, Sarah missed morning work. Jake found her in bed, pale and sweating, hand on her belly. I think I'm pregnant, she said with her voice barely more than wind. Jake knelt by the bed, took her hand, and kissed her fingers. I told you I wouldn't leave, he said. For the first time, her eyes got so soft it hurt to look at her. Guess we're getting that daughter, he whispered. Marcus came back in the middle of the night with 3 men behind him. Armed, drunk, angry. They lit the east fence on fire and waited for the smoke to wake them up. Sarah grabbed a rifle and stormed outside like war itself. Her nightgown was soaked from the water pump. Her eyes were blazing. "I told you," she shouted into the smoke. "This land is mine." Marcus laughed from the shadows. "That baby yours, Sarah, or is it this fool's? Either way, neither of you will see winter." Jake stepped into the firelight. Barefoot, shirtless, blood on his knuckles from breaking a window. "I'm done playing humble," he said. What happened next wasn't a shootout. It was justice. Jake shot Marcus's men in the leg and shoulder. The third ran. Marcus was alone, shaking. "Go," Jake said. "You bring fire here again, you won't walk home next time." Marcus left. He walked back down the road he came from. Inside the house, Sarah's hands shook now that danger had passed. Jake wrapped a towel around her shoulders and whispered, "It's done." She stared at him. "You could have killed him." "I would have," he said. "If he touched you." Then Sarah whispered, "I'm scared. Of how much I love you." He kissed her head soft like a promise. When their heads touched, she whispered, "Marry me again." They married again that fall. Just the two of them barefoot in the backfield, standing in wild sunflowers. Jake put his mother's silver ring on her finger. Sarah put her grandfather's ring on his. He said, "With this ring, I promise to stay, to fight, to raise whatever comes our way." She said, "With this ring, I promise never to hide and never to let you fall alone." Their daughter Emma came during a snowstorm. Red-faced and angry as the wind outside. Sarah held her, crying into her hair, whispering, "You came anyway." They named her Emma. Jake held her like she was made of fire. "I swear I'll teach her how to fight back." Sarah replied, "And I'll teach her never to say sorry for being strong." Years passed. Emma became tall, strong, fearless. She rode horses, shot clean, read books, built fences. The town whispered she was too rough. But Emma didn't care because at home her mama told her she was made like iron and her daddy read her stories by the fire. Every night Sarah tucked her in. "The world is scared of girls who don't back down." Every night, Emma whispered back, "Then I'll never back down." Sarah died on a spring morning in the same chair where she first rocked Emma. Jake found her with a book in her lap and a small smile on her lips. He buried her under the sunflowers where they once married. Carved the stone himself, Sarah McCann, the storm they couldn't break. Wife, mother, builder of giants. On Emma's 18th birthday, she rode to the edge of the land. She found Jake on the porch, older now but still watching the distance. "I'm leaving tomorrow," she said. "To learn, to teach, to fight better." Jake nodded. "Your mom would be proud." "I'll come back," she said. "You better," he said. She looked at him with those same deep knowing eyes. "I love you, Daddy." He pulled her close, held her tight. "I never needed a strong daughter," he whispered. "But God, I'm glad I got one." As she rode off the next morning, Jake stood by the carved gate, watching the dust trail fade into the light. Somewhere in the wind, he could still hear Sarah's voice whispering, "Raise her not to back down." And he whispered back, "We did."